Ndanu, have you ever played office politics? Putting you on the spot.
Putting me on the spot. Anyone who has worked in a corporate has participated in some form of office politics.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, in one way or another.
There's a misconception around the fact that you're either a good person or you play office politics.
Oh yeah. It's normally that saying for people who quit bosses.
Yes.
Not jobs.
Not jobs.
They're just like, another day.
Another battle.
You know?
Yes, we are very customized.
Yes.
To lay low and just do our jobs and want to go home.
If their values are not aligned to the values and the culture of a company, then they won't have a good time in that company. Hi guys, welcome to the rundown.
My name is Mikhala Barasa.
And I'm Ndanu Nzyuko.
And today we are going to tackle corporate or office politics.
Yes.
Ndanu, have you ever played office politics? Putting you on the spot.
Putting me on the spot. I wouldn't say that I knew it at the time, but it was office politics, that I was playing office politics. But yes, I have, I think, participated.
Active participation.
So,
Wink, wink.
One of the times that I used some office politics to my advantage was a time when I wanted a jump from a role I was in to a different role. So I talked to the people who were higher up, who I knew liked my work, and got them to vouch for me to be
that role.
For that role.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. Does that count for politics?
That is office politics. Please usijitete. Let me read what office politics means. Networking ni kwenda mahali pengine kuongea na watu wengine. My friend, you are with those people in the same office. Jikubali. Wow. So let me read what office politics is. Office politics refers to the informal networks, alliances, and power dynamics that exist within a workplace, often separate from official organizational structures and reporting lines. It involves strategies, behaviors, Ndanu, used by employees to gain advantage, influence, or control over others or organizational resources. This can include things like lobbying for promotions, undermining co-workers, forming cliques, and using personal relationship to further one's agenda.
Lobbying, like those are such strong words. Lobbying, like you know, lobbying sounds like you're going to parliament to get them to pass a certain bill that will have an advantage to your sector, you know.
But I don't think lobbying is the right word.
Okay, anyway, it's true. Lobbying, yeah, it sounds so serious, but yes, it is. Okay, I think, yeah, there are a lot of people who like to imagine that they have not participated in office politics, but I believe anyone who has worked in a corporate has participated in some form of office politics.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, in one way or another. There's a good side to office politics and there's a bad side to office politics. So maybe an advantage of office politics would be creating healthy competition and encouraging staff to strive for excellence, you know. So competition is seen as a bad thing, but sometimes it's actually good for people to have some sort of competition because for those of us who went through the 844 system, that's what we were taught.
That's what we strived for.
Yeah, I want to be number one.
Best?
Yes.
Or you have failed.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people have carried it into the workplace. It has become a part of it because people somehow are competing for the next promotion, for the next award, you know, like those office awards. Yeah. I mean, what is that? You're literally pitting us against each other. Yeah, but in a good way, not in a bad way. Because if I'm striving to be awarded in a certain area, to be awarded that I have exceeded expectations, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
And I think, actually talking about it, one of the good sides, the competitive part is it actually counts for how you are appraised or how you perform. If your office does a 360 review, that is like they ask different stakeholders how their relationship and their working environment is with you. If they put in a good word for you, that counts for your overall mark that your supervisor gives you. That then means that you have to be very strategic in one, whom you ask for the reviews, and number two, how you relate with others, so that in the event that there's a wild card question for any other employee that probably does not like you, like they still can manage to say, we are not cool like that, but she does a good job.
I think it encourages people to get out of their comfort zone, to talk to people who can put in a good word for them. I think it's normally called a sponsor, and not sponsor in the bad way that it has become in Kenya, but a corporate sponsor, someone who can be able to speak for you in a room that you're not there. Yes.
The one thing we need to understand is you can't sit out of office politics, however much you try. So I'll use my own example. You are busy playing lobby to get promoted. I used to get into the office. We worked for the same organization, so I'd get into the office, do my job, and literally go home. And Ndanu and I had very different experiences in that office. I feel like you had let me say a good time, but fairly decent.
Yes.
I had a really rough time in that organization. Because I had very few corporate friends and maybe like one sponsor who was also not on the good side of them.
You chose poorly.
I chose poorly. So even with corporate politics, you need to first of all understand that you can't sit out of corporate politics. What I used to be naive. I would say, you know what, let my work speak for itself. Because I feel like I used to do a fairly decent job. I was like, as long as I'm working hard and I'm doing well, it doesn't matter. But the people that you speak to and the people that speak for you actually matter.
Yes, that's actually true. Yes, so as you've had, you can be in the same organization and have two very different experiences in the same company. And I think that depends on the culture of the company. Because I think sometimes people don't realize if their values are not aligned to the values and the culture of a company, then they won't have a good time in that company. But if your values are aligned to the values and the culture of that company, then you'll be able to have a better time. A good side to the office politics is the reward system. Okay? And in a lot of companies, the reward system for especially awards, the annual awards or quarterly awards, it's normally voting. Okay? So you're told we have certain values. Who do you think embodies
them the most?
And then you're told to vote for them. That's not very objective.
It is not.
It really is.
Like all of us really just like lazy.
You know?
Yeah.
When she was awarded manager of the year.
Really liked it.
Yeah.
All of us just really liked her.
Yes.
She worked hard, yes, but really liked it.
Just liked her. Yeah. But the fact that people vote for that person and then they see that person being awarded, it does something in the company. It gets people excited, you know. Yay, Mtuwetu. By the way, let me tell you, that Mtuwetu thing doesn't start with ati uko tu when it's about our tribe and politics. Even in the office, it's like, that's the guy we voted for and he has won. Because sometimes if the higher ups if they decide to just award whoever they think is doing the best job, they might not be the liked person. You get what I mean? There are people who are working really hard, but they never get those awards because they are not people. Like people don't know them and they don't have that thing that will make them be voted for. And even if people know you, they probably don't know you in like the happy social. So maybe you're like the brooder that sits in the corner and imagines my work will speak for myself. Because that's true. So for me, I think those awards where people vote, it's a form of office politics.
there's a misconception around the fact that you're either a good person or you play office politics.
Oh yeah.
So it's either like, I'm so nice and I'm good. And then this person plays office politics. I think for me, that myth has been debunked several times. Even where I work now, I see people that I consider to be very good people.
Yeah.
Like, I like being on their good side, and they do a very good job, and they play the best office politics. I'm telling you, like, I look at those ladies and gentlemen, I'm like, I wish I knew how to play this game the way you do.
Yeah.
And I can actually see it in their performance. You can actually see it in the culture of the organization and how they behave.
Yes.
You can actually see it in the kind of meetings they are called to, on the kind of tables that they sit. Like, you hear there's this program. Whom do you think would be the best person for this program? Their names come up. And it's just because they've built this environment of, I need to be good with people. I just need to know the right people to approach and the right people to talk to, and the right people need to mention my name. And from that, then I'll be able to kind of advance my career and do well. So you can still be good and play office politics. If you have something to offer, if you have substance, it's highly likely that you'll end up on the good side of office politics. But if you don't have substance, then you end up being the person that now is
like the way
Ndanu came
the snitch. And remember a time when the big boss was told that we eat breakfast for 1 hour.
Yes. Was like,
honestly, even if you don't like us, 1 hour. Having good relationships in the workplace helps you to get your work done quickly. Yeah. If you are not able to navigate that, having good relationships with your peers, then you won't be able to get your work done fast. People won't feel obligated to,
to assist you.
Okay, so let's look at the bad side of office politics. Okay. It can decrease productivity, especially where people can get caught up is in environments where the higher ups don't cascade information down. So people work on a lot of rumors. So when there are too many rumors in the office, there's very little productivity, because Namuku at Mikhala's desk, I'm like, hey, did you hear?
What's it?
Did you hear what they did? Or did you hear we are likely to be let go? Things, because it's rumors that probably don't have a clear basis. And that is because from the top, there's poor communication there's poor cascading of communication down to the rest of the organization. Yeah.
There's also an imagination around the fact that, okay, so maybe since we work virtually, then in a virtual environment, there's no need for corporate politics.
Yes.
But nowadays, when you get on a call, like, there's always that one person from that department that you'd always like call to or like ask for support. So you say, oh, we are discussing, the data protection laws, maybe I'd like Mikhala to chime in, because for sure Mikhala is going to support you. You will not call upon a person that is going to disagree with what you've said. So even in situations where we might feel like, in this environment, virtual environment, there's no need for corporate politics, there's something to be said.
Yeah.
If you listen to call dynamics, you'll always see the rotation, that you go from Ndanu to Mikhala to Marvin to, then back to Ndanu, then this person, this person at the corner who does not speak at all. But then when someone else joins the call, now to just be the two of them. So then you kind of get the feeling that kila mwamba ngoma anajua kwenye ngozi yake inavutia. Saying the same thing. Kila mwamba ngoma ngozi inavutia kwake. What?
Then the other thing is dissatisfaction. That dissatisfaction coming from the point of you have Ndanu, who probably can lobby, Mikhala, who doesn't know how to lobby. So Mikhala is also doing as well work-wise as Ndanu, and Ndanu is moving up. Mikhala is staying in the same position. So what that does for Mikhala is Mikhala becomes demoralized and dissatisfied with the work environment. Yes. So I think one of the ways to mitigate that is for management teams to recognize even the people who silently do their work. I think one of the things I am yet to learn in the corporate world is shouting about the things that we're doing.
You remember Mr. IT? I know.
Yes. And another boss that we had.
Yes.
Hey, there are people. I feel like men know how to do that.
They do.
For ladies, we just we chill. Like, see, my job is to do risk assessments. We have done the risk assessment.
What more do they need?
What do you want me? You want me to come to Exco to shout about
what I have already
done? That is in my JD. You know, as we think it's normal, and especially that also I normally say comes also from depends on how reward system was in your home when you were growing up. If there are people who their parents used to say, if you become number 10, I buy you a new bike. But those of us who came from homes, you will become number 1, and guys will be like, good job,
number 1.
And they know
the most you get is wageni wakuja Ndanu alikuwa number 1.
Exactly. Done. So you get used to these are normal things. Yeah, it's my job. I did it. I don't need to shout about it. But I see a lot of men actually shout about the things that they do. And to you, you're thinking, isn't that part of your job? Why are you shouting about it? But that's what gets them noticed.
But also, the other, as you speak about that, there's also the imagination that I used to think that person X is just good at corporate politics. Then I met the career mentor, Mark.
Yeah.
And I realized there's some intentionality and focus and learning on how to play office politics. So it's not just, yes, we are very customized to lay low and just do our jobs and want to go home. But we also need to know that playing career politics and office politics is something that you learn over time. It's like a muscle that you have to, you know, today you go and say, by the way, I've been working on this case and this and this, and this is what has happened. Tomorrow you'll be telling it to the manager. The next day you'll be seated next to them and be like, hey, this contract, ABCD, this is happening. I also learned another smart way to play it. And this was very common in our former workplace. There are departments that had dashboards that show exactly what you do, and you make sure the higher ups have access. And as many higher ups as possible, even the ones that you feel like this don't relate to my role. And by the time the higher ups understand what you do, it's very easy for you to justify raises, to justify additional team members, to justify what you do, to justify your appraisals. So it's not just it's not limited to the networks that you make. Sometimes it's about how do you report? Who do you report to? How many people are you CCing in that email? Even CC people. Like, just let someone see you're doing something. I think that there's that as well, because we imagine that someone was born knowing how to play office politics. No, they probably weren't. They just came in this and they saw there's a way I can do it here, and they picked it up.
That's a good point on the dashboards. I will definitely implement that. Similar to the dissatisfaction is cynicism. So people become cynical of the work environment. They're like, it's people who are liked by so and so who go up, you know, or it's people who behave like this, or it's people who dress like this, or it's people in a certain department who get raises, you know, that cynicism. So people don't feel that when you tell them, why don't you apply for this job?
They're like, I will not, because I won't get it.
I won't get it. And when you ask them why, I think I've seen, even in different places where I've worked, sometimes there are internal roles and you're telling guys, wouldn't you be perfect for this? They're like, they don't hire people from
this department.
No, inside. Oh. They don't promote inside. They get people from outside. And it's sometimes, yes, companies need to go outside to get people. But when the staff have seen a lot of that, then they stop having the psyche and morale to apply for internal promotions because they're like, they never come to us. And sometimes it could be just that the positions that had been advertised at that time, no one internally
applied.
Yes, or had the
qualification.
Yes, that was needed. But because that has happened,
And
now
there's
they
a
have
grapevine around it.
Exactly. People have drawn a conclusion and they have sat on it and decided
They don't hire
they are not
people.
Exactly.
And I think also when you look at such situations where you feel like you are unable to apply for internal rules, and like as you're using it as an example, we should also consider what does office politics mean sometimes for your mental health with the cynicism.
Yes.
So you wake up and you go to work, and I remember I used to feel this a lot. I've woken up, I'm going to work, and I'm just like, I know I'm going to this place where this person dislikes me so much. Whatever I do, however I play it,
Yes,
I'm just going to have a bad day.
Bad day, yeah.
Like you are so demoralized, and your mental health is in the pits.
Yeah.
Just because, some people know how to play the office politics and they do it well, and there's this person, because of one reason or another, you just feel like this person doesn't like me, and maybe it's just a misunderstanding. This person doesn't like me, and you cannot office politics play your way into their good graces.
Yes.
So just like, you know what, like my mental health ikubuko, and I really do not like this job, and I really do not want to go to this job, which kind of puts you at a place where I will say, for me, I really liked what I did.
Yes.
Really loved it. Like you could see it in my work. I just really disliked the person that was supervising me. And that was an unfortunate thing.
Yeah.
Because I felt like that is an industry that I would have wanted to grow in.
Yeah.
Because I really liked that industry. Yes.
Yeah, and that's actually a very interesting point that you raised. When you like what you do, but you don't necessarily like the organization you're doing it at, or the person that you're reporting to. There is normally that saying for people quit bosses.
Yes.
Not jobs.
Not jobs.
Yeah. And I was asking myself, okay, so then what do you do in that situation where you like what you do, but you don't like the place?
The place that you are in.
And maybe you've tried to apply for jobs.
And you've not gotten.
gotten.
So let me tell you, I have you have a husband and children. Me,
Child.
Thanks. Me, as Mikhala, myself, I promised myself from that role that if a job gets bad, the first instant I will quit. A bad job, in my experience, I don't know about the rest of you, a bad, let me say, a bad boss or a bad supervisor doesn't change. It's worse than a bad relationship. It just keeps going downhill.
Yeah.
You can try as much as you can, but if you have a terrible relationship with your superior, more often than not, it's something that cannot be fixed. Sometimes, once in a while, 1-2 people, it will get
better, yeah.
But more often than not, it just deteriorates and gets worse. If I went back to the 26-year-old Mikhala, I would have quit in my 3rd month. I would have, for sure, I would have quit. Like immediately I got in and I was giving these recommendations and doing my job well and getting this and this in appraisals, and I'm just not agreeing with my boss. I genuinely would have quit in my 3rd month. But I stuck it out for 4 years.
Oh.
And that is such a long time.
Yeah.
For your mental health to even recover from a person that you wake up every day to go and see that you don't get along with. You can like your job, you can like where you do it, and you can like your boss.
You can like the job, you can like the company you're doing it at, and you can like your direct supervisor. Yeah. So you find you have people who are just not happy to be there. Yeah. And they're just like, another day.
Another battle.
You know?
The imagination that office politics will not affect your job performance.
Yeah.
So it will affect your job performance in terms of the person that you're reporting to. Maybe you don't have, that relationship with them. And like I said, the 360 reviews. But also, if you constantly have a low morale, that means you're not giving the job 100%. That means obviously when the appraisals come, whoever is appraising you, whether they're your direct supervisor or someone else, your performance will be below par.
Yeah.
what in your experience is the best way to handle office politics?
For a lot of ladies, we try to sit out of the office politics. I think one of the things I would tell my fellow ladies is you have to play the game.
You do.
And playing the game is, one, they have formed relationships. I'm telling you guys, go to a new company. There is a role, they are here calling each other. Hi, this company is looking for a head of this. Don't get involved in being the spy or the speed, or the snitch. Like, now you're the one going to tell the boss, Mikhala came in at 10. So.
And what she was doing was drinking tea.
Yeah, until 11, and then she left at 3, Don't be that guy. I think the office has CCTVs and biometrics for that. You don't need to expend yourself in that area. Yeah. Network, have a good working relationship with your people, with the people you're working with, and then, of course, engage with the higher ups. Find out, even ask for feedback. Am I doing well? Do you think whatever I'm doing is, working towards the overall strategy of the company? And then try to improve yourself, make sure that the work that you're doing is actually being noticed and being appreciated. Yeah. I had started reading that book.
Which one?
Good Girls Don't Get the Corner Office.
You had never read it?
I had never read it.
Oh, okay.
I think, I started reading it kitambo, then I stopped. I don't know. I need to
finish it.
I need to finish it.
Madam Millie's book.
Yeah, I need to finish Madam Millie's book. It's made me, this episode has made me think of that book, and I'm like, I need to finish that book.
As a lady, play corporate politics on your own terms.
Yes.
Let it not be, I'm being pushed in this or this or this direction. Play it on your own terms. Like, no, this is my goal. This is what I want to achieve. These are my terms. This is my vision. And if hata ukiona mtu anakuyumbayumbisha anasema twende huku, you ask yourself, does this align with my goal? If it does not align with your goal, okay, you let it go. But it's, I think, small steps. I think that's what I've learned as well. Corporate politics is step by step by step by step.
Gen Zs can tell us what they want to know about corporate, because
you know what to come on, it's 9 to 4.
I would also like that. Tell us what you would like to learn about the corporate world, navigating your career, and give us your stories on the comment section. Here, this one, we want stories.
Stories.
Yes.
What went well, what didn't go well. At least I've given my...
Yeah.
We had same organization, 2 different experiences. First of all, subscribe. Ukisha subscribe, click notification bell. Ukishafanya hizo mbili, go to the rundown on Instagram and follow us. Go to the rundown on TikTok and follow us. After you finish those, like, check the rundown page, you'll see me there. My Instagram handle is at Mikhala Barasa. My LinkedIn is Mikhala Barasa. My Facebook and X is Mikhala Barasa. Follow me on all those platforms. I post some pretty interesting content on employment and labor relations law on LinkedIn. If you're interested in that, follow me there as well. And for you?
I am Ndanu Nzyuko on Facebook, Instagram, and X, and Grace Ndanu Nzyuko on LinkedIn. Thank you for joining us today.
And until we see you next time, bye-bye.